like to share these particular stories with you because these are the facts. This is exactly what happened. And on the eve, of course, of the American election, people really need to know exactly the sort of things that are going on behind the scenes. Now, we've spoken often, haven't we, all about, celebrities who, want to come out and say, this is the person who I'm voting for. And of course, in my opinion, it's always a huge mistake. I mean, why would you take notice, for instance, of George Clooney? This is a man who flogs coffee for a living, hardly known for the stellar roles in the world of cinema, is he? Jennifer Lopez seemingly can't hold on to a man, and when she can, of course, he slips through her fingers and she tells all about it, but seemingly remaining quiet about her connection with a disgraced rap star, Puff Daddy Sean Combs P. Diddy. You get the picture. But this particular instance came back to me because once again, this particular individual is now doing the rounds. That's right, we're talking about the author Michael Wolff. Now, Michael Wolff really sort of came to fame having written certain tell-all biographies, but of course his most famous one will be Fire and Fury, all about the 45th President of the United States, Donald J. Trump. Now, take a look at this. Now, when you think about it, right, what's fascinating about this particular instance was, I was there, it was a Sunday afternoon, filmed in my studio while he went back for a pre-recorded conversation with an Australian TV network. And what was strange about Mr. Wolff was he came into the studio full of his own importance, wanted somebody to meet him at the door, wanted to know where he could, sit down and be not disturbed, all that sort of stuff. A real diva, there's no two ways about it.
Having an affair while president behind the back of the First Lady. And I repeat, you said you were absolutely sure. Last week, however, you backflipped and said, I quote, I do not know if the president is having an affair. Do you owe the president and the First Lady an apology, Mr. Wolff?
I can't hear you.
Just last month, you said you were absolutely sure that the president was having an affair, and now you say that he is not.
I'm not getting anything.
You're not hearing me, Mr. Wolff?
I'm not getting anything.
We were hearing each other well just before. You're not hearing me, Mr. Wolff?
Do you hear? I'm not.
Mr. Wolff was hearing me before, but he's not hearing me anymore. So it looks like the interview may be over. Michael Wolff's book, Fire and Fury, Inside the Trump White House, is out now, and he is about to take off on a speaking tour. So I think we will leave it there.
Now, what happened behind the scenes was simply this, that he was caught out as a liar. And that was the situation. The Australian network had decided they were going to jump in on this question. I knew this because I was producing this in the gallery alongside a technician. Now, he's lying. He could perfectly hear literally every single question that the Australian interviewer was asking him. Now, what happened was he shot off back to the green room and locked himself in. I demanded that he open the door because we had some other guests. He was sat there with an assistant. And when I went in, he turned away and was crying. That's right, absolutely full of tears, crying. I insisted that we were supposed to be doing an interview directly afterwards, and he was overcome with emotion. No, he couldn't do it now, whatever. So I went to get a glass of water. And what happened was he ran out. I mean, he literally ran out. What happened also was when he went downstairs to the main reception, he locked himself in the gents to the point where we had to get security to get him out again. Now, if you want to believe any stories that this man is writing, that was my experience of the author Michael Wolff. He knows it and I know it, but not many people know what goes on behind the scenes. And the reason why I'm sharing this is it's not to influence anybody's vote or anything like that. But remember, when these people write tell-all books, the minute it gets a little bit thorny, and this has happened to him a few times now, he literally cuts you off and runs away. So if you're in any doubt about how true is that book, how true is that story, remember this story. Neil Sean in the very heart of London.